The sharp clap of the gavel resounded throughout the room. A simple crack declaring the honorable judge's ruling as final and signaling my doom. 9 months I'd spent agonizingly waiting for this moment, only to be found guilty on all counts. Guilty of taking a human child from her home in the dead of night, slicing her open to use her blood in an illegal curse, of conjuring forbidden magic with the intent of harming someone, guilty of murder. Frankly, I don't think my lawyer truly believed I was innocent. His defense, while passionate, had lacked conviction, and the jury had felt it. All those averted gazes and half-hidden yawns. I'd known their decision before they'd even been dismissed. Still, hope had flickered in my chest. A fool's hope, but one that refused to be extinguished nonetheless. That was until the judge's hammer fell, and I was faced with the realization that I was going to spend the rest of my natural days in prison. A decision based entirely on a lie. Immediately, my lawyer turned to face me. Though his lips moved, a ringing had filled my ears, muffling his words into garbled mess. A few phrases pierced through the haze, talks of an appeal, of taking another look at the evidence. It was a respectable gesture on his part, but we both knew it would be a pointless exercise. The whole thing had been a setup, and it had been done well, allowing the prosecution to present a fine case. According to their documents, my fingerprints had been left on a windowsill outside the girl's room. Careless had been the exact phrasing. A boot print matching mine had been found in the mud leading up to the country house. And the forensic team claimed to have found blood belonging to the dead girl on a knife stashed away in my home's crawl space. It had taken me far too long to realize this had all been a setup. That someone had broken into my home while I was either away or sleeping, in order to guarantee that I would take the blame. Tears welled in my eyes, spilling onto my cheeks as the bailiff's calloused hands pulled me roughly from my seat. Behind me, my lawyer shouted something, but an eruption of cheers sounded within the courtroom, swallowing his attempts until both parties were basically indistinguishable. My limbs felt heavy, numb. I found myself staring across the room at the prosecutor, watching the way her red, stifling lips twisted into a smirk as my knees buckled and gave out beneath me. Her smile only widened, matching the expression on the pair of guards who were forced to hurry forward and prop my limp body between them. I couldn't find it in me to hate her. The case she'd made, the stories she told, had been enough to make me even question my innocence. Experts, wizards, and witnesses had come forward to her call, solidifying the case to toss a child murderer in prison until it was ironclad tight. If I had been in any position but mine, I would have cheered them all on. As they half dragged, half carried me from the courtroom, a part of me desperately wished to call out to her, not to spit venom or scream to the heavens of my innocence, but to offer my condolences. She had no idea of the damage she was about to cause. A murderer, one good enough to set me up, now walked free. I wouldn't be surprised if they killed again. In all likelihood, they had probably killed before. The prosecution had made it clear the whole crime scene had been too clean, too precise, to be anything but practiced. Perhaps the killer was out there, right now, watching the televised trial with amusement. The prosecution had just signed the death warrants for future victims. And nothing I said now could stop that. I was the second victim of the crime, sentenced to remain imprisoned for the rest of my life. But the true killer had made one crucial mistake, failing to guarantee the death penalty for my sentence. So what did that mean for me? How fiercely would I have to maintain my innocence before anyone would really listen after today? A year? A decade? Centuries? Now that the future was no longer my own, I had plenty of time to ponder that question. After all, elves do not die of natural causes.
You have been listening to Convicted. It was written by Daniel B. Green, adapted to audio and scored by Isaac Butler, and narrated by Simon Alexander Mock. Thank you for listening.